What up, brothers? It's the Clipper King returning for the second review of the weekend, and as you can see, the figure in front of you is the Hot Toys DX12 Batman from the movie The Dark Knight Rises. I'll just show you the figure firstly, explain a few things before I crack on with this review. First thing I want to say is I'm not the biggest Batman fan in the world or even the community or whatever, and I'm not anal about the suit and the fucking length of each stomach pad and the length of his gauntlets and how big his fucking ears should be or out like that. I'm just a passing fan. I do love the figure and love the look of the suit, but like I say, I've not like freeze framed the movie and measured every part of it. So if there is any problems that you know of, guys, you stick to getting your rulers out and bitching about it on Sideshow Freaks and Facebook and circling certain parts and blah blah blah, but I won't be doing it. I'll be judging the figure in the categories I normally do. Is it good enough for me? And that's what I'll tell you. And hopefully through the review you can decide yourself if it's a must-have figure or it's an easy pass for you. That's all I want to do. Also, I'll say I did watch Wayne Butler's early review on the figure, and I did agree with a lot of what he said. The points he picked up on, I'd also picked up on his video. And then I watched Xenomorph's and Nenny D's review. Enjoyed all three of them for different reasons, and I did agree with all three guys. So I'm not trying to be neutral, I'm just being honest. So I think they all made valid points, and I'm just going to put my little 10p opinion in on it as well. And like I say, this seems to be the review that you guys have been waiting for me to do. But I will also say, when I ordered the three figures, this, the Hawkeye and the Luke Skywalker, which is there, and the review still to come on that, this was the one I was sort of buzzing about least. I'd sort of been put off it by certain things, and I didn't think it was as good as I hoped it was going to be. But like I said, I've always tried to advocate the opinion of don't judge a figure till you've got it in hand, and I'm certainly not going to do that. And then I will say I opened it second, and once I'd got it in hand, had a good look round it, tried posing it, looked at his accessories and whatever. This is the figure I was buzzing about most and sort of most overwhelmed by. So that's the honest truth. I'm going to break it down, obviously, into categories, score up, try and give you a few laughs, try and give you a few poses, and like I said, hopefully by the end you'll know if you want the figure or you're not fucking interested. So to explain this first pose, just from the ground up, I've got him on his base that comes with it, just got his cape sort of curled round there onto the steps and one under his foot. It's pretty straight up and down pose. I wanted it like that because I didn't want to sort of stress the suit to start with until I did the review. I will be doing more extreme poses, like I say, but I just wanted him to look as natural as possible and also a pose that goes with the head sculpt. So now I've got the head down, the eyes up, as you can see. So you're looking at it from that sort of angle, and I think that looks badass already. It's fucking Batman through and through. So yeah, easy pose first. I will get more extreme. Try and show you some different things. They won't all obviously come from the movie, but there'll just be some iconic Batman style poses. But for now, because I want to rank the packaging, in fact, what I will say, I'll do the source material first on this one. I did like the film, but I did prefer the Avengers, if I'm honest. But the Batman franchise, I have enjoyed it all in all. From Hot Toys' point of view, I think it's overkill. I think they've done too many, although I think it's finally got to where they're nearly, well, good enough for me, suit-wise. So I say I do enjoy this figure, and I'm looking forward to the new Joker. But then after that, Hot Toys, please leave it alone. There's plenty of other licenses out there. Just leave the Batman alone. So like I said, the source material on the film, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. I'm going to roll onto the pack, get the figure out of the way, and tell you about the packaging, because there's an interesting thing on this DX box that I've not seen on any of the others that I really like. Right, packaging. Firstly, you all know my opinions on the DX boxers. They're always pretty bland and monochrome to my eye. I know some people love them, and they are really functional. That never changes. They do use the best quality of card. You can see that's really hard and thick, and this one actually feels thicker than any other I've known. I could be wrong, but that's how it feels to the touch. It feels really coarse, like it's pretty undamageable. The artwork is the sort of the cracked bat, which they used from the sort of scene, the trailer that it showed as they were looking up through the skyscrapers and it got up to the sky. There were sort of cracks in the buildings and it was like sort of in the shape of the Batman. That's sort of the look they've gone for. and it is also the symbol that's on the stand that comes with it. You do get the tab, which pulls out the next tray down, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So yeah, and if you listen, it is coarse, and then that's shiny. Like I said, it catches light really nice. So it is an okay looking box. I prefer a shot of the figure or a movie still. I've always said that. So sort of the artwork lets it down a tiny bit, but there's something cool about it. Now the thing I really like about it is this. They always have the magnet sort of catch, and this one's the same. It's a nice strong magnet, you can see, pop out. Now normally, a DX box, when it wraps round, this would be the hinge, this edge. And what you would get is a little split about that long there, where it folds the card, and then a split somewhere at top there, where it splits the card. Now this one has gone more, it's a magnet still, but it's more of a wrap round. So if I open it, as it comes round, you can see, let me show you, the box sort of folds away, so there's no crack on the hinge because the hinge is not at the top, it's at the bottom. So if you were to lay it down, it would, I'm trying to do this one-handed, so bear with me guys. Oh, you know,
delete that.
Tripod needed. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, the hinge is sort of at the back of the box so it doesn't split that. It's been a long time coming that, because I've always had a problem with the DX boxes splitting. I think people understand that it's not because it's anybody's fault, but it's just a design flaw. On the inside of there, you do get the chalk bat symbol. Then in there, bear with me again, you do get the black thing with the bat blueprint, and then inside, obviously, you get all the trays, but there's nothing in. So yeah, again, really functional. But I do like how it wraps around and how it opens and closes, and obviously the quality. Sorry if camera's all about when I'm trying that, but it is so hard for me to work with my left hand because I'm all right-handed. So like I say, you do get the satin tab at bottom. So I do like the packaging. A normal DX box would normally get a 4, but simply because this one's not going to split like the others do, I'm going to actually this time give it a 5 out of 5. Rolling on to likeness, and this is mainly just facial likeness. Now obviously I'm going to show the Bruce Wayne head when I do the accessories, so you will see that on the figure, and I've got a pose planned for that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it with the head that it comes wearing. So that's the sort of relaxed mouth, so to speak, and I've got his eyes slightly off to the side. Now I will say on this, and I don't know if it's everybody's, sometimes, depending where you position his eyes, it looks slightly off. Now, I don't know if it's a case that the purse is off a little bit, or it's because of the scowl marks on his mask. Because if you put his eyes like up and forward like they were in the first pose, his eyes are pretty right, sort of thing, for someone wearing a mask, if that makes sense. And when I move them around, they seem to be moving in sync correctly. But every now and again, you put it in a position and you think, is it because I'm focusing on the eye sockets and the eyeballs or what? But it does slightly look a tiny little minute bit cockeyed. Now, I don't think he does in that pose. So if you look at him from sort of there, I do like it. And the mouth sculpt, this one's good. The scowling one's better. The open mouth one leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't know what it is about it. It's just off. Now I am going to pose it with that mouth on in a minute in sort of a frustration pose kind of thing. I'll explain that pose when I get round to it. But for this pose, I've basically just got him with the EMP gun, holding it in one hand. It shows you there's plenty of bend in the arm. Obviously it is restricted slightly, but I will cover that in the outfit and articulation. Like I say, I've got him holding the handle and then the under section of the EMP gun. I will just say as well at this point, the EMP gun, these little lights or little lens things that light up, mine did come with the top right hand side one missing. Now I don't think that's all to do with the seller. I think that's Hot Toys thing, but again, I'm never going to display it like this anyway, I don't think, so it don't bother me that much, although it would have been nice if they'd have all been there. The lights on it, because of the size of this and the batteries it takes, I don't know why they don't light up like about 3 different sets of lights, which would have made it look really cool. But there's just one light at the top, and then it sort of catches the light through the other lenses. So it's a nice idea, and obviously that gun does feature in the film, so it's a good job they gave it you. But they could have made more an effort on it. But I will come round to that again in the accessories. But just on the likeness, like I say, for the sake of that pose, I do really like it. You can see Christian Bale's under there. I do prefer the cowl, sort of as it goes from his chin, it sort of gets wider up towards the ears or horns, whatever you want to call them. So it does look more realistic to me, and from the pictures I have seen, it is pretty accurate. Now, other people like Dean Knight or Curtis or Lambo, other bigger Batman fans might say, well, it's off in this situation, but like I say, it's Batman. You're never going to think that that's Darth Vader, are you? You know it's Batman, so that's good enough for me, like I say. 2 mouth plates are good, one's not so good. I wish it had been a different expression, but all in all, the Pers system does give it a bit more realism in the poses, so that's always nice. But like I say, I'm not sure if mine's a tiny little bit off, or it is just the fact that you're looking at eyes through a mask kind of thing. But I'm happy with it. So the likeness, I am going to give a 5 out of 5. I will going to mark it down 1 because of the open mouth faceplate, but I think that would be very harsh of me, because all in all, when it's posed, it does look awesome, I think. I'm more than happy with it, and like I say, it blew my expectations out of water. So, like I've said, the likeness, the facial likeness that is, I'm giving 5 out of 5. Moving on to the outfit, a lot to cover really here, so I'm going to crack on. Just show you the pose first. Going down on his knees, call it the Fall of Batman pose. You can see he's got his fists up, very comic book. Got the open mouth on now, got his eyes up, and he's sort of fully extending the suit. This is the reason I wanted to do it. First off, I'm going to start with the cape. Did they get it right? Did they fuck? As usual, there's no wire running all the way through the cape. This one has a wired section sort of from here round and to there. That's all it is. So you can position it slightly. Why not do it all the way around, Hot Toys? That means I'm going to have to fuck about buying some material, getting some wire and stitching in, making this cape what it should have been. On a figure of this price point, put it in. You put it in the Superman, so stop being so fucking lazy. Get your seamstresses rolling and give us a proper cape, for fuck's sake. So, first things first, cape, total fail again. The material is pretty good, I think. It's a lot finer than the last one we got on the DX12. That one was like double layered when it didn't really need to be. This is a decent material. In the inside, it's got like a satin feel. On the outside, a rougher material. I think it looks pretty accurate. The length's pretty good. But like I say, put us some like spines through the cape to each point and down the front so we can pose it as we want. That'd look fucking awesome. You did it with a Batman, the 89 Batman, and that's a good cape once you've got it posed. This one, it's just sort of an added extra, an afterthought sort of thing. So the cape, no. The cowl, I love it. I think they've got it just about right to my eye. And like I said, the fact that the mouth plates change on and off easy and the Pers system, there's a lot to like about it. The fists, they are good, they look accurate, but they're the same ones as the DX02. And I think, come on, it's fucking 2-3 years later. Give us a couple of new sculpts at least, boys. Just to give us some pose options. I don't know, one where if he were kneeling down, he'd be pushing himself off at ground sort of thing. I don't know, something different. They basically just reused the DX02 fist, which is a cop-out, I think. The gauntlets are good, but I saw a review and it says that the gauntlets sometimes push the hands off. That is the case. And this bit, I don't understand why it's so fucking big, because it's sort of like a spike. If you were going to elbow somebody in the head, it'd be an ideal weapon to stab them straight in face. So I don't understand why it's that big. And I have also seen a custom job where people have snapped that off and glued it to the underside, the elbow pad of the suit. So I won't be doing that because it don't bother me that much. But I can understand why people are saying, why the fucking hell is it like that? Right, the idea of the suit I do love, because you still got an odd section, pectoral area and the shoulder area. The shoulder areas to me are about right. They sort of go down to mid bicep, and then the armour sort of there is more accurate this time, definitely. Certain poses you put it in, this rubs against that kind of thing, which is a bit of a pisser, but it don't bug shit out of me. But like I say, it is accurate looking, or it is to my eye. The biggest change of the suit, it's a fabric suit, very reminiscent to the black suit Spider-Man suit. As you can see, I've got that, and sorry it's behind glass. Just bear with me. It's very reminiscent to the black suit Spider-Man suit, that. And obviously the cut and stitch are awesome. So if you look at that material, then you go to the material sort of in the sections here, very similar. But then on top of that, they've pretty much glued or ironed, or I don't know how they've put it on, stitched on the armoured section. So the plates, the straps and all that. And that's all over the body. Again, on the legs. Now, on the upper body, I really love it because it makes it articulated as it can be, although the shoulder pads do restrict it. So yeah, it really works. On the legs, it looks good, but and it probably does give you more articulation than the DX2, but sometimes, sort of, round the back parts in particular, they just look like they've been glued on willy-nilly to me. I know it's probably accurate to how the suit is, but I just think there's something very, not cheap looking, but a little bit rushed looking. People might agree with that, they might not. I do like the cod piece because it moves quite well and it's not proper attached, so when you're bending and moving around, it's not feeling like it's always going to fall off sort of thing. And like I said, in general, I do love it, and it is a definite 100% improvement on the all rubber DX02. There's no doubt about that. The movement, the ab crunch does work nicely. For this pose, if I were to, look, if I crunch him back, sorry, if I crunch him back, the suit will move with it. Like now, he's going to fall forward, so really, I've got to bend him back. Another improvement, the belts. Both belts are awesome, although the utility one, which is this one, is better because it is like a watch strap effect. They're all separate links and it does move and it looks very accurate. The other one is the correct colour, and obviously there's none of these accessories on it. It does look awesome, and I am going to put it on for one of the poses coming up. So the belt is a definite improvement. The suit's an improvement. The boots, I can't show you in this, but you've probably seen them before. The split ankle and shin section doesn't look as good as the DX2 for me. I know it's more functioning, but mine were pretty good anyway, so I preferred the old style boot, but it certainly wouldn't put me off the figure. It's not that major. But like I said, the Fall of Batman pose, I hope you like that. Zoom away from it. See, he's sort of like he's been beat down, or he's sort of frustrated, I can't go on no more kind of thing. I quite like that pose, to be honest, to say it were quite easy to do, and it were a good way to use the open mouth. I will show you the open mouth sculpt while it's on. Again, the eyes now, they look pretty good. I don't think they are cockeyed, I just think it's certain poses, because of the shape of the cutaways in the mask, it does make him look slightly boz-eyed. And like I said, this faceplate is the one that looks least like Christian Bale. I think they should have gone for the mouth like from Batman Begins, the swear to me sort of line, where this one's a little bit more open. That's the mouthpiece that I would have preferred, sort of thing. But like I said, I've tried to explain that as clear as I can. Like I said, some of y'all might come back and say his legs are too bulky. I don't think so. I think they're perfect. His arms look nice, it looks natural when he's in a relaxed pose, and he will articulate. So for me, this is the Batman to have, no doubt about it. And I hope you guys agree. If you aren't fans, I would say get it, and obviously I'm going to recap at end, but I just wanted to talk about the outfit because that is a major part of any Batman figure. So, like I've said, the Batman on the outfit has got a 5 out of 5. No! Rolling on to articulation. I have pretty much covered this in the outfit section, but I am going to do it anyway, and I'm going to score it up, tell you the restrictions and the improvements. Show you the pose first. As you can see, the goblin stand, I've been told I can take that plate off, which I'm going to do, and just use it as my reviewing stand. But moving up the figure, you can see he's sort of jumping down from an height into a slight glide, ready to fucking knock some motherfucker clean out. I'm loving that pose. Well done, Clipper King. Pat on back, brother. So that looks beautiful. And you know I mean beautiful. Certainly fresh as fuck, no doubt about that. But anyway, the articulation. We'll start off at his feet. Like I said, you do get the splits between the foot section and the shin guard. So you've got a ball joint in there, so your articulation's unlimited. It were pretty much in the old soft rubber boot anyway, but obviously a little bit more so now. Coming up through the legs, there's slight limitations. You couldn't do a crouch. You could like do a kneel down. Obviously I've just done it, but it wouldn't do a crouch. And obviously, well, Spider-Man doesn't even do a crouch, so this certainly won't because of the restrictions of the rubber on the suit. But like I said, I would take the look of it over the articulation anyway, same with a rubber bodied figure. So yeah, these the legs are slightly limited, and obviously they won't pull wide apart because then you're going to start pulling the rubber well out of place. Moving up, the ab crunch joint is a big help, and the suit moves with it, so that's a really good improvement. It is restricted around the upper arm and pec area because of the hard armour on his chest and on his shoulders, and then the arms pretty much move nicely. The arms will do pretty much everything. The downside with the arms is the size of the gauntlet means it normally pushes the wrist peg out and pushes the fist off, which is a ball ache. But obviously once it's in, it's in. So that's a bit of a pisser. The neck, the bottom articulation is not very good, but the articulation around the head is good because that's a magnet head. Now the only thing that pisses me off with that is because of the sculpt on the neck, if you were to try and put him certain poses, you put him in, like I want him to hold wherever I decide to put him, but because of the shape of the neck, it'll drop it. You see what I mean? It'll just drop slightly because its shape, it don't move freely around it. There's like grooves in the neck, so it sort of affects how the head falls. But like I say, you can work around it. It's not a major flaw. But it is something worth telling you. But the magnet's strong and it does hold. I know some people have had magnet problems, but I'm not one of them people. So all in all, for a figure that looks as good as that, I think the articulation is definitely good enough. But because there's a couple of little nitpicks, I have got to mark it down one slightly on that because, like I said, they promised us the most articulated Batman, and they probably have given us that, but it's still not free-flowing like a true type body would be. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. But I've got to say, I'm fucking loving that pose, brothers. Next time I see your collection videos, I want to see somebody have took that pose and fucking run with it. Moving on to accessories, and it probably won't shock anybody that I've gone to this Clipper King go-to pose. As you can see, the sticky bomb gun in one hand, his cowl in the other, on the roof ledge, looking out over Gotham, just taking a breather, chilling out, just, you know what I mean, surveying landscape kind of thing. It gives me a good chance to put the Christian Bale head on, and also get out a couple more accessories. I can talk you through what comes with this DX figure. Is it worthwhile and does it score well? So like I said, I pretty much explained the pose. That is obviously just the head, so if I look underneath, you would probably see the eyes, but if you keep it in that position, nobody's ever going to notice. They could do with being a better hand to hold it, because it's a bastard to keep it there. Obviously the rubber on the leg sort of stops it from slipping. The two-part sticky bomb gun, so just a remake of the DX12, what you got with that. So yeah, it will stick on back of that belt because it's got magnets on it. It will all fold away. You've all seen it done before, so I'm not going to do that. The Christian Bale head sculpt, the most important extra I would say. The DX02, the spare head on it were the sonar head. They haven't made that figure obsolete by recreating the sonar head. They've given us a Bruce Wayne head. And I'm grateful for that because I had to actually buy a Bruce Wayne head to get this look before. Now, some people have sort of slagged this off, said there's something not right about it. I actually love it because Hot Toys need credit for this head because they've not just redone the Toy Fair exclusive head or any of the old Bruce Wayne heads. It's a completely new one. It's got the longer hair, although it's not got no grey in it. And I think, let's see if we can get a good shot. I think the eyes show age really well. The expression is good. I think the mouth's pretty right. I think the nose looks slightly better than the Toy Fair. Although the Toy Fair one were really good, I just slightly prefer this one. And this definitely shows that it is from the Dark Knight Rises. So respect to Hot Toys on that head. He has got a broody look about him, which I like. Only thing, I think the head is slightly oversized. Not by a lot, just very, very slightly, but that would be a nitpick on my part, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, respect to that head sculpt, because I'm fucking loving that. I would happily display that Batman like that for a length of time before I change it and put the Batman head back on, and it wouldn't lose any credibility, because I fucking love that pose. Like I said, Sticky Bomb Gun is just a remake of the DX02, so we've all seen it before. Moving down, obviously that came with Spider-Man, the base. That's the neck for the Batman head with a magnet top. Like I said, because of how they sculpted this, the grooves are pretty, like, really definite on it. Even the Adam's apple, if you can see, the Adam's apple even sticks out. So when you're putting the head sculpt on it, it does sort of like drop into positions that you don't really intend it to. Like I said, it's not a massive annoyance, but it does do it. Another thing I will say, I've been checking the Sideshow forums and a lot of people are doing the neck mod on this. I don't see a point at all. I did with the DX02, but I don't with this one, because I think the length of the neck and the profile of the neck, the width of the neck is pretty accurate to me. So I think to be that worried to do the neck mod, which I did do on the DX2, I would never do it on this one because I don't think it needs it. Moving around, that's the device for moving the eyes and popping out the mouthpieces. We've all seen that. The hands, like I've said, you get 6 hands total. Not enough for me personally, not for a DX figure. I think they should have, it's pretty much, that one holds the batarangs. That one will grip something also. 2 fists, 1 relaxed, and a trigger hand. It's not enough. There should be a couple others. I don't know what exactly, but I don't know, there should be something different because they basically just remade the DX2 hands, which is not good enough when the figure costs this much. Set of hand pegs, always handy. The base, awesome. Do really like it. Obviously it lights up. I'll show you that. Get my hands to it. Like a base, it does look cool when it's shining on the figure. I do like the sculpt, and I do like this. Obviously it makes it look like it's not a real step because no step would have that on it, but to display it on, it gives it a statue look. The belts are both awesome. That one's the magnet belt, and this one is the, if you pick it up, you can see how it moves. It's all separate links. So it's a fucking awesome belt. In fact, there might be, oh no, there aren't magnets on this one, I don't think. But like I say, it just looks so realistic and moves nicely. And these belts actually stay linked better than the DX02 because mine always used to pop open at back. But like I said, 2 awesome belts with it, which are definite improvements on the DX2. Moving across, you've got the 3 face plates, the scowl, the open mouth, the relaxed. I do like the scowl and the relaxed one. The open mouth could be better, but I'm not gonna moan about getting 3 face plates, no way. The EMP gun is a nice touch because it appeared in the film, although mine came missing a bulb. It does light up, but the light up feature is sort of an afterthought, so don't be buzzing too much about that. The grapnel gun, this actually, from the way I understand it, attaches to the back pod if you have it, which then holds that in place. But I don't have the back pod, and I will never get the back pod. I'm not a vehicle kind of guy. These are the trays for the folded down sticky bomb gun. 2 batarangs, which are slightly bigger, I think, than we got on the last Batman, and then 2 smoke bombs with the things, I forgot what they're called, like mines sticking out kind of thing. So yeah, good set of extras. Any figure, I've said before, with good base or 2 head sculpts, you've got to sort of make allowance, you've got to top score it, which I am going to do. I am going to give it a 5 out of 5, I can tell you that now. What do I wish they'd have put in? I wish they would have put in a couple of extra hands, like I said, and I wish they would have given you the option of having that cape, which falls nicely, and a wired cape. Please fucking bring us a good wired cape, somebody. I've got to make my own, and it's not going to look that realistic, but because of how I like to pose it, I do want a wired cape. So that's what I wish they would have brought us as well. I'm glad that they never give us the backpack again, and they never give us the sonar head, because that would have rendered the DX02 obsolete, which would have been a shame. So I'm glad they didn't give us that. But like I said, I love that pose, and I do like them accessories. I'm giving them 5 out of 5. Right, the final category, the value. I explained on the Hawkeye, I'm pretty much going to explain the same thing. Before I do that, I didn't say the accessories. There is some movement this time on the grapple gun. Just want to show you, it does cock. So yeah, talk you through the pose and I'll explain the value. Got him, grapple gun out, still on top at rooftop, but got his cape more swelled out this time. He's got his foot in, sort of looking round, looking down his arm, like a fucking bad man. So yeah, gone back to the scowling pose, scowling faceplate, which I'm pretty much going to use all the time. So, right, that's the pose for you. The value, right, the seller I bought this from was De Greyman on eBay. Like I said, he sold me Luke Skywalker, this and Hawkeye for $980, which is nearly bang on £600. So like I said, if you work them out to £200 a piece, then I've overpaid for Hawkeye and way underpaid for Batman and Luke Skywalker. But on his site, he was selling this guy for about £250 shipped. £250 is too much for any figure, in my opinion. Probably Hulk aside. So if I'd have paid that, I'd have been pissed off. But I never got a deal. So the total price I paid for the total 3 figures, I think I've got an awesome deal altogether. I've got 3 of the hot figures of this time, and I'm really, really happy with all 3. So value-wise, I'm going to take it on the fact that it could have cost me 250 quid. That would have been way too much. So the value, I'm going to give a 4 out of 5, because you do get good stuff with it, and it is a must-have figure, I think. And anybody who's teetering on brink of buying it, press that buy it now button if you've got the funds, and enjoy this figure when it gets there, because it is badass. So yeah. On top of that, like I said, I got the $1,400 from my DX01 and 02, and that money has bought me DX12, DX7, Hawkeye, which is there on windowsill, and also I've now got DX10 coming, and I ended up with about $30 spare. So anybody can tell me that they won't swap DX01 and 2 for them 4 figures is a fucking mental case. So I think all in all, I've done a good job. I won't miss DX1 and 2 because I've enjoyed them for years, and the DX2 has more than been replaced by this figure, and I'm sure the new Joker will be better than the DX01. So don't be scared to rotate your collection, brothers. I was talking to Nenny D yesterday for an hour on telephone, and we both sort of have the same idea. We're limited with room, we're limited the figures we enjoy, we're limited with cash, I would think. So don't be scared to buy and sell, rotate things. Once you've enjoyed the figure, when it starts getting boring, move it on, let somebody else enjoy it, and you take the money and move forward. That's what I've done, and I'm more than happy with it. Other collectors will say, you're not a proper collector because you're selling your stuff. Fuck all that, I'm a collector, I'm not an hoarder. Hoarders keep everything. So that's my stance on it. Like I said, anybody want to put in the comments whether they would have kept DX01 or 2 or took the 4 figures I took, then I'll be happy to hear from you. But like I said, I'm more than happy with that figure. It gets a total of 32 and a possible 35, which is a fucking awesome score in anybody's book. I hope you've enjoyed this review. The Luke Skywalker will be coming shortly, and the DX10 Terminator will be coming as soon as I get it. So respect to you, brothers. Keep supporting Clipper King. The more shout outs I get, the better I feel. And obviously, what goes around comes around, because if you ever need my help, you need my support, I'm loyal to the guys who are loyal to me. So respect to you, brothers. Keep on rolling. And for now, I'm out of here.